Welcome back to the weekly Brooklyn Market Update, brought to you by Engel and Völkers, Brownstone, Brooklyn. My name is Katriona, and of course I'm joined today by Donald Brennan. How are you, Donald?
Pretty good, Katriona. As you know, we're here in our Cobble Hill shop today on Court Street, so lots of activity there behind us. Hopefully there's no major distractions as we get through this. There is a veterinarian just a few doors over, and there are a few anxious dogs over there making a little bit of noise, but let's see how this goes.
Great. Okay, so we're going to talk about new to market and in contract listings across the 16 key neighborhoods in Brooklyn that we track right now. Our report, of course, covers those properties below $2.25 million and those above $2.25 million, which we refer to as the luxury market. Mm-hmm. So an interesting week last week, of course, because we were in the middle of the election. So did that affect the weekly data trends that we saw for the new to market activity, Donald?
Yeah, so let's take a look. Overall, the entire market that we follow at all price points, 73 new deals coming to market versus 81 2 weeks ago. So an eight unit difference there, 10% difference, nothing overly dramatic. But in the townhouse sector, 10 new listings came to market last week versus 22 2 weeks ago. So that's a difference of 12, obviously. 54% difference, and kind of understandable because you have intention there, obviously, when you're putting anything out in the marketplace to make sure the largest pool possible is looking at the thing you're trying to sell. So anybody who had concerns about generating interest probably were a little timid about putting it out there last week. So no big surprise there. On the condo resale side, 24 units new to market last week versus 23 2 weeks ago. No real change there. Sponsor units, 24 coming to market versus 19 2 weeks ago, 5 unit difference. And then co-ops kind of stayed the same, 14 new to market last week versus 16 2 weeks ago.
And what about the in-contract activity? Were there people out there still doing deals?
Yeah, so as you know, deals that enter contract are probably put in gear 2, sometimes 3 weeks in advance of that. Once a price agreement is reached, all terms are reached, and the attorneys start working on the contract. So a little lagging here, but look pretty good. 79 deals going into contract throughout the market versus 84 2 weeks ago. So a little drop there, 5 units or 6%. Townhouses, no change there. 15 going into a contract last week versus 15 2 weeks ago. Condo resales, pretty much the same. 31 last week, 32 weeks ago. Condo sponsors also pretty tight there. 15 last week versus 11 2 weeks ago. And biggest change was in co-op resales. We had 17 deals going into contract last week versus 27 2 weeks ago.
Right. So were there any significant differences between the markets in terms of those properties below $2.25 million and those luxury properties above $2.25 million?
Yeah, so looking below the 2.25 mark, a slight dip in new to market at 65 townhouses, condos, co-ops, combination of those coming to market versus 74 as an average in the trailing 4 weeks prior to that. In contracts stayed the same in that segment of the market at about 69. Luxury market, significant drop as we just kind of touched on. In the new to market category, there were 8 versus an average of 20 as a trailing 4 week average prior to last week. In contract deals stayed the same at about 10.
And so any insights on the most active neighborhoods last week and through the weekend?
Well, looking at volume is one thing we look here, neighborhood to neighborhood, and Williamsburg had a lot of activity, mostly related to condo resales, and accounted for about 60% of the activity in that marketplace last week. And looking at in-contract activity, Clinton Hill, townhouses specifically, made up about 50% of the activity in that sub-market last week. Greenpoint also showing a significant amount of interest in condo resales.
So that's it from us this week. Check back in next week for more accurate and informed observations on the Brooklyn property market. And it's goodbye from me at our Prospect Heights location.
Great, and thanks so much, Katriona. I just wanted to add again, as a reminder to our viewers, we're a resource for you, whether you work with us or not. And we're ready to share our experience and knowledge when you need it. And also, next week, we're going to take a little diversion here and drill down on condo new development in one of the submarkets that we follow here in Brooklyn. So definitely want to check in with that if that's something you're in the market for.
Great. See you next week.
Take care. Bye.